trading is lonely. If you're by yourself and you're trading all day, you start to do stupid things, you start to lose your cool, place boredom trades. And the idea of having that community, having a room, having analysis, having people you can speak to who are like-minded is crucial in the development.
Welcome everyone. We're sitting down today with Greg Rubin. Greg, welcome on the podcast again. Good to have you here once again. I look forward to talk about the prop firm side of things a bit with you and kind of how people can get funded, some opportunities you've had on your side as well. So let's dive right in. And good to have you here again, of course.
Thank you, Etienne. Good to be here again.
Awesome. Now, tell me what's been going on since we last spoke. I believe it's been like 2 years or more, maybe more than that. So tell me kind of what you're up to.
So I went to Axi, the broker Axi, in 2022, beginning of 2022, to take over the AxiSelect program. And we've spent about 17 months recreating a brand new program, one that we believe fills a gap in the market, a capital allocation program that's different to what is out there. And we went live with this program in September this year. So it's only been live for a few months, and so far so good.
It's interesting because you also reminded me that I did an interview a few years back with those who kind of started the program in the first place. And at that time, that was like one of the only programs for traders. There was like maybe a few power firms, but not that popular at all. So I guess the industry changed a lot in the past few years also. Kind of that's been a big change. Tell me kind of what motivated you to work on another prop firm or like funding opportunity again?
So even taking that a step back, even before I answer that, our founders, our CEO, had the foresight in the capital allocation market space. As you say, they set up right at the beginning with this sort of vision on where this capital allocation prop firm space would go. So it was very much something that the company wanted to do. It's something that the company, it's aligned itself with its sort of vision and with this interest. So where I became interested is in 2022, where we sort of started to see the rise of these prop firms, and a lot of them were all quite similar. And when I sort of spoke to Axi and we had this chat about, where I see this, where we could take this and where we can position ourselves and how we could form something that's different, and their desire to really push and to really, give this the backing that it deserves and the support. So it was kind of their desire to really make this work, and my desire, knowing what opportunity we had in this market.
And we'll get to the tips on like how to get funded and stuff in a minute. But what I like a lot from AxiSelect and like the way you guys do things is, first of all, there's no kind of failing or passing, because it's like you have to work to get a score to get funded. And also it's kind of free. There's no payment to do upfront for the challenges, which is very different from what we see out there. So tell me a bit more about kind of AxiSelect, what it's about, and then we can dive into some tips and some things to how people pass with these kind of funding accounts.
So the way I always describe AxiSelect is an all-inclusive capital allocation program. So yes, we do provide generous funding. At the top end, we offer $1 million to clients to keep 90% of the profits, but we also offer all the tools required to be successful in trading. Now, that doesn't mean everybody's going to be successful. We make no illusions that trading is difficult. You're not going to not everyone is going to have access to $1 million of our funds. But as you know, with trading, there's a whole journey and a process how traders, start and how they move through the cycle. And we believe with AxiSelect, with the tools that we've created, they can assist traders going through that pain and blowing up accounts until they learn to trade on their own. So we have additional tools such as a dashboard where traders can sort of view their statistics, they can view their performance, some of the key metrics, ratios. We have a leaderboard where you can see what other traders are doing on the program. We have, as you mentioned, the Edge score, which is a sophisticated score which we've created in-house, which judges traders' performance and is utilized not only to govern traders through the program, but also to assist them to learn on what they can do when components are low, what they can do to improve their score. And lastly, but certainly very important, we have a trading room, a community where traders can, participate in. Trading can be a lonely journey, and to have people who you can bounce ideas off, people you can communicate with, But we've also filled the trading room with 4 professional traders who you can interact with on a daily basis. There's learning material in there. There's live videos that takes place in that trading room. So when you combine all those tools together, you have a more than just the sort of funding side. So we're quite proud of the all-inclusive side, but just to give you a more idea of how AxiSelect works, as you alluded to, it is free, right? There are no registration fees. It is completely free for clients to participate. What we do require is for clients to deposit funds into their AxiSelect trading account. So there are funds of the traders that are at risk, so it's not free in that sense, but ultimately it's completely the traders' funds. They can withdraw the funds at any point in time, and we put our funds in an account which basically copies, based on the multiplier, the trading, the actual traders' trades that it places. So essentially it's an account with our funds that trades at the same without any fees charged. There's no evaluation to pass. If you achieve a score of 50 and have a minimum of $500 in your AxiSelect account, you can start on the AxiSelect program.
How do you give a trader a score? And I mean, not you necessarily give the score, but this is, of course, like an algorithm in the background and stuff. But what are some of the key criteria that are taken into account for the score for a trader?
So we've divided into 4 key areas of trading subcomponents, namely risk, skill, consistency, and experience, which we use as a discounting factor to make sure that the performance of the traders isn't, with a small sample size that's proved over time. So with regard to risk, we all know, risk is one of the most, if not the most important part as a trader. I might have mentioned this in our previous chats, but I always say a good trader is a good risk manager. So we take risk as a very important part in the score. And ultimately, if we're going to give you $1 million of our funds, we want to make sure that you can handle and manage risk. So forms a very big part of our score. Ultimately, the consistency part, how profitable clients are on a consistent basis, and the skill level, which also involves managing risk, producing profits, are firmly taken into account.
And what are some of the limitations people have? Do they have a maximum drawdown that they cannot hit, or they will lose the capital, or how does that work out?
Yeah, so that's one of the key benefits of our program. When people look at these programs, they often go, how much can I earn? And what is the percentage, what is the amount of funding I can get, and what is the percentage I can take home? But they often don't take into account the trading conditions, the program structure. So we offer what I call unrestricted trading conditions. The only restriction is 10% drawdown. And to qualify for the next level, you need to make 5%. So firmly in the trader's favor, make 5% or lose 10%. So that's very, very important on the program. There are no rules for holding trades over announcement or holding over weekends. The only other restriction is, so EAs we do allow, we just don't allow copying EAs. So long as you're not copying other traders or copying accounts, you can use EAs freely. So we don't have any of those restrictions on the trading. And ultimately, it is live account. We don't use any demo accounts for the AxiSelect. So it is real broker trading condition account as opposed to demo trading.
You'll still be able to get funded from a demo account, though, no? Or when you
No.
do the evaluation, only live. Okay, cool.
It's only live accounts. So when new traders join the program, they don't have a score, and you can't judge somebody on without placing any trades. So traders need to place 20 trades to obtain a score. And if that score and those trades take place in an AxiSelect account, which is this trade exactly the same way as an Axi broker account. And you can choose whether you want a pro or standard account. It's up to the client to choose. So once you've placed 20 closed trades, you'll obtain a score. If that score is above 50 and you deposit $500, you can start on the program. You'll be issued with an account of $5,000 of our funds right from the beginning.
This is a good part about funding opportunities that are based on brokers also, is that there's a lot of infrastructure in the background. There's a lot more help and support. It's a lot more established. I know now you're not the only one doing that anymore. Maybe you were in the past. But what do you think differentiates this from the other brokers who offer fundings for traders?
Yeah, I think that is the key. So when we set up, we wanted to be different. We wanted to utilize our size or our advantage in the marketplace. And that, as you said, having that network, having that support, having the trading desk, having the different departments who can manage flow is certainly something, gives us an advantage of where we're positioned. At the moment, we are the only broker, as far as I know, that offers such a program. There are other brokers who offer sort of similar to the standard model, where there's a registration fee and strict criteria to qualify. But as far as I know, we're the only firm in the space who offers this structure.
Now, that makes things a lot easier because there's no time limit for sure that you have to kind of stick into to pass a challenge. There's not really kind of, there's maybe a target, but more in terms of the score. But what are some tips for people who want to pass, kind of, who want to get that score and they want to get funded from AxiSelect? What are some things they can do to make their trading good for that?
So this is a key point with the structure of our program, is the sense that you don't have to make it to the end of the program to make money. If you look at the general model, it's pass the registration, which is quite difficult, but once you pass it, you get given an account with 200,000, 500,000, whatever it is, with a significant amount of money, and then you've got to stay on the program and sort of make it to that final stage. With AxiSelect, it's more holistic, more long-term, in the sense that you're not going to click past 1 month and you've got $500,000 of our funds to trade. So you just need to not be rushed, not try to make $1 million in one day. As we know with traders, we want to make as much money as quickly as possible. So AxiSelect is not set up like that. It's not set up to survive your registration fee, get funded. It's very much so we don't have any maximum time limits per stage, but we do have minimum. So there are a certain amount of time that you need to stay at each stage to prove that you can qualify for the next stage. So there's a certain time, and there's also a certain number of trades that you have to play. So there are those criteria. Ultimately, without charging you anything, we're giving you $1 million of our funds. We want to make sure that you can actually trade, right? So we do have some of those limitations, or I won't call them limitations, but natural rules or natural blockers to slow you down, to make sure that we are comfortable with you trading more and more of our funds. So that is certainly where one of the differences lie. And I also want to stress, we offer 3 attempts at the program. So it's not if you draw down 10%, you're out. You actually get 3 attempts on the AxiSelect program. And if you do drop out and lose the 10%, you go to what's known as quarantine. You spend 2 weeks where you can still trade and improve your score, but you get a break from our fund, so you can recool, sort of reorganize your thoughts, cool down, and come back. So just to stop you going on tilt with our funds as well.
I mean, that's a good idea, because a lot of these programs, like, it's a cutoff. Like, if you get to that point, you completely lose it. I understand it makes sense in terms of, like, you don't want to, let's say, there's money on a trader who's like on tilt or whatever. You don't want to like throw your money at them necessarily, but having a time to kind of cool down, to kind of get back on track, is definitely helpful.
Yeah, and I think what we do with that as well is, by giving the 3 attempts, we don't have any watermark levels as well. So we don't penalize clients for being successful and sort of, bring up that 10%. You have that 10% from where you started, and it's very important. I know you can have a bad week, a bad month, a bad period, and traders can lose 10%, So it is important that to give traders a realistic chance or a fair opportunity to make it through our stages, we do offer 3 attempts before you have to qualify for the program based on score from the beginning.
So give me an example of someone who starts to trade with AxiSelect. Once they get funded, how quick can they scale up to bigger amounts? Is it like a number of trades? Is it a certain duration, or how do you kind of set that?
All right. So how does the actual AxiSelect program work? Is, as we said, to qualify for the program, the client needs to deposit $500 into the AxiSelect account, and they need to obtain a score of 50 or more. Once this has happened, the trader can start the program in the seed stage. So in the seed stage, we set up an account with $5,000 of our funding in, and as you can see, clients are not entitled to a profit share at this stage, but once you do qualify for the seed stage, you do get access to the trading room and to the dashboard and the leaderboard. And To move to the incubation stage, clients need to make a 5% profit without losing the 10% loss. And they've got a place, you can see some of those rules, at 20 trades and at least 5 trades per month. So once you qualify for the incubation stage, you would need to put a minimum of $1,000 of your funds into an AxiSelect account, and we will match that 10 times up to a maximum of $20,000. So for example, if you have $2,000 in your AxiSelect account, we will put $20,000 into an allocation account, and the trader gets to choose what the funding multiplier they want. So when you start the stage, if you don't want to copy trades at 10 to 1, you can choose that amount by the amount of funds that you put in your account. So if you put $5,000 in your account, we will still give you $20,000, but trades will then be copied at 4 times. So you can choose that multiplier. And at the incubation stage, you're entitled to 40% of the profits, and the profits are paid automatically. As soon as the month ends, as long as you don't have any open positions, the funds are automatically sent to your AxiSelect account. So it's automatic payouts. Again, you can see the similar theme throughout the program. You just need to make 5% profit at each stage without losing the maximum loss of 10%. Those are the 2 criteria governed by the score. So you can see the edge score that you need to obtain to move through the program. For acceleration, you need to have an edge score of 70 and then 90 for the pros. And you can see our funding goes 5,000, 20,000, 100,000, 200,000, $500,000, and $1 million.
I like that these targets are quite small. Like 5% is very easily achievable. It's not like a crazy like 10% or something. And the drawdown stays at 10% too, which is kind of interesting. That's very good.
Yeah, it's sort of what we spoke about at the beginning, was to create a program that gives traders a fair opportunity to generate funds and to actually, trade with bigger amounts of funds. And not everybody's going to get to the $1 million. Not everyone's going to get all the way. You still need to obtain a decent edge score to progress through the program. But a lot more people, in my opinion, relative to the other programs out there, will have an opportunity to have a profit share with Axie funds. And this is, of course, part of the program structure with all the other additional tools that come with it.
So here I'm seeing the score needs to go from 50 to 60, 70, and then 90. What does a trader have to do, let's say, to go from 60 to 70? Is it a lot of work or a lot of big changes, or is it pretty just going to keep trading the same way and try to get better?
So it's difficult to answer that exactly, but it'll be a combination of the components in the score. So, we have a risk score, the skill, the consistency, as well as the experience part. So the experience is only a drawdown factor. So the more you trade, the experience will tend to 100. So it won't count against you the more you trade. But what we've created is explanations, and we're busy working on improving this at the moment and almost automating it into the system for the trader to assist them. It's one of the releases coming next. But basically, we use the score to tell you your risk score is 65. You can improve your risk score by doing this, that. So it will help traders by identifying what they're doing incorrectly, what they're doing that's creating, what they can do to improve that, the different components of the score. So we're busy working on creating more visibility regarding that. It is something that we are conscious and working to improve.
I mean, this is a good way for a lot of people to get funded who don't want to pay for a challenge necessarily, or or they're not sure if they're actually good enough. They can definitely try it out at first. There's a lot of focus on this with like improving and becoming better too, which is kind of nice. Tell me more about kind of what resources traders get to become better.
So going through the resources, when we created this program, we didn't just decide, let's throw a few resources together. We thought, what does a trader need besides funding? Okay, we know that it's common in the space to focus on funding and what I can earn, but what does a trader actually need? And Etienne, yourself with your background, I know we've spoken multiple times about the sort of trading, what a trader needs, the different elements to it. And I was running a trading room last time we spoke, in fact. And that's where I realized how important it was for the learning side to not only be part of a community, but basically to assist you, to trading is lonely. If you're by yourself and you're trading all day, you start to do stupid things, you start to lose your cool, place boredom trades. And the idea of having that community, having a room, having analysis, having people you can speak to who are like-minded is crucial in the development. So with the trading room, we are starting the live videos imminently. We have, as I said, professional traders who post daily analysis in there, and any questions are answered. So we do allow traders to interact with traders of different levels, and it's, to me, a very important part in the trading journey. We spoke about the edge score and how that is used to assist traders and how traders can use that to improve. We've also got a dashboard. It's, I'm a big believer in creating a journal and journalizing your trades to learn from and improve on, and I still encourage all traders to do so. But what we've done with the dashboard is we've created metrics and stats so where you can see how you performed last month relative to this month. So you can see what you're doing better, what you're doing worse. You can actually see your actual month-by-month performances, some of your metrics, how your profit's moving, where you are on the program, what percentage you've obtained, your payouts. And we also have a leaderboard as well where clients can view what other traders are doing, how high other scores, which traders have what scores, and these are the people you're communicating with in the program, so you can see how they're doing as well. So there's that visibility, there's that transparency that we're creating within this program.
Now, brokers have a tough reputation out there because some people understand brokers. They know what they do. They know how they kind of help traders. They know kind of the behind the scenes a bit more. But some people are kind of see brokers like a bad thing, or like they try to get you money and stuff. What's in it for the broker in these kind of funding program? Because I guess a lot of people are gonna not necessarily get funded. That's just part of it. Most people who do it will not get funded. So how do you make money from this as a broker?
So most of our clients do get funded, do make it, as I said, the seed stage where we do offer funding, but as you said, there isn't a payout per se. But the incubation stage, for example, we've been live for 3 months and we've already got more than 10%, more than 15%, in fact, of traders who are at that stage and at the funding stage. So it is a decent amount of clients, of traders who do reach that stage. But what's in it for the broker is a great question. If you look at Axie and you look at the core reason for Axie's existence, you've probably seen this, the strapline, the tagline, trade your edge. That's at the core. It's not just a tagline, it's a core of the existence for Axie, is to give traders an edge, to give traders something. Trading's not easy, but what can we do to assist you? What can we do to give you that something? And that's what AxiSelect is. For one, it addresses the biggest issue in the space, the lack of funding. A lot of traders, new traders, retail traders, should I say, they leverage too high because they don't have the required funding. So we provide that. We provide a solution to that. Naturally, what's in it for us? Well, ultimately, we're a business, of course we are. But our job as a broker is to bring clients through the door to trade with us, to ultimately create volume. And we believe with what AxiSelect offers is a very attractive proposition for clients to come through the door, to experience Axie, and ultimately to be part of our ecosystem and to trade with our other products that we offer as well. So for us, it's a way of the normal business for Axie, which is to bring clients through the door. That's exactly what AxiSelect, or what we're looking to achieve.
Definitely, it's definitely the case. So by having this, you kind of get people to use your platform. They might see they like it. They might see they want to trade with you for longer. Definitely a good way to attract people that way.
Let's look at it from a client side who trade at other brokers. Forget the prop firm space for a moment. If you're trading at another broker and you've got $500 or $1,000 there, you could trade that $1,000 there, and as you would normally do, or you could bring that $1,000 to Axie, do exactly what you're doing, no difference to what you're normally doing, but at the same time you have $5,000 on the side and a trading room and a score and a dashboard and a leaderboard, and it doesn't cost you anything. You're doing exactly the same thing. It's just the profits that you would make if you're a profitable trader, it's just magnified by our funds that gets paid to you. So from that side, from clients at other brokers, there's nothing to lose. There's no downside with AxiSelect. But for new traders, of course, joining, they can lose funds, or traders who trade other prop firms, I'm not going to say that you can't lose. Of course you can. It's your own funds at risk, which you can lose. But if you're trading that at another broker, it's the same funds that are at risk. It's a real life trading account. So in that sense, it's another sort of market that's opened up to us in the sense that there isn't much of a downside in that sense for said group of traders.
What platforms are available for AxiSelect? Is it MT4, MT5, or do you have other platform you support?
It's just MT4 at the moment.
I'll tell you what stuff is. There's so many brokers out there and so many kind of different offerings. And you have AxiSelect. Other brokers might have like a different thing. They have, let's say they have TradingView integration. You can trade on TradingView with them. So you kind of have to debate if it's worth changing to a different broker. And the answer could be yes, of course, for the funding. Or it could be no, you just want to kind of stick to your broker and kind of stay with them. I think it's a tough call for some people.
Of course, I'm not under any illusions that many people want to serve their broker, right? There's some loyalty side, but I'm saying from an actual client's perspective, if you're trading $500 or $1,000 at another broker, you could do exactly the same thing and get $5,000. So, and then if you're good or make profit, you then get $10,000 or $20,000 or. So that is the sort of sense on the upside from a broker side, but also clients at other capital allocations. You made a reference to it. 90% or 95% of traders actually lose money, the registration fee, and don't ever make it onto the funding program. So people don't want to pay registration, or clients who have tried a few of these prop firms out and lost the registration fee might want to try with their own fund without paying a registration fee. So definitely it positions itself in that sense as well.
And you get a lot of the issue of people who fail and treat it like a casino. They fail, then they buy a new one, then they fail, they buy a new one. And that fee could probably be used to even like fund an account or do something productive with it.
Well, that's exactly it. That's the sort of long-term holistic view that I sort of, point out, that you're not going to join AxiSelect and go straight to, 200,000, 500,000. You have to work your way through the program. So it is significantly slower. It is more of a trading journey. It is more for traders who want to forge careers, who want to be professional traders, or new traders starting out who want to follow the path, as opposed to the other models, as you say, which are more for, you might want to take a punt and get given 200,000 straight away and then see what you can do with that. So it does encourage more holistic trading, more longer term, as opposed to get rich fast.
Definitely, totally agree with that. And it's a good offering for a lot of people, for sure. So where can people go if they want to learn more about AxiSelect and how you do things, and where can they sign up for this?
Our website, axi.com, you'll be able to see the AxiSelect page. Very, very easy to sign up.
I think that's good. I think we covered a lot here. So it's good to catch up with you, of course. Good to see what you're doing, and good to see that there's like a different, not a profit model, but like a different way to do funded accounts out there, that most people use like the sign up fee and the this and the that, but it's a different way to do it. And I think that's good to hear sometimes for people who don't want to necessarily pay the fee or just don't want to kind of train that with that kind of model. They have a different way to do it. And I think your offering is pretty good. It's been around for many years also, which is pretty amazing. So there's a lot of stuff out there for people.
Cool, that's great. Well, let's see what the pickup is. If your user base like it, perhaps, as I said, I'm more than happy to sort of speak to you. I'm looking for more people to discuss and talk about it. Hand over heart, I generally don't see a downside for a trader. Again, talking off air, talking to you, it is free to join. Naturally, if you're trading already, I don't see much downside in that sense. Compared to other prop firms, you're not going to get as much as quickly, but you've actually got a chance. What's that? 99% of traders don't pass the evaluation stage, and then what percentage of that lasts more than 2-3 months on these programs? Where with AxiSelect, you actually genuinely can trade normally, make 5% twice, and you've got access to $100,000 of our funds.